Okay, hi everyone. This is my first time going live on Facebook. I see that the camera quality is not as good as if I was just filming, but anyway, here we are. I know it is still a bit early and it's not 7 o'clock as yet, but what I was thinking of doing was just explaining exactly how the so long works because I have had a few questions asking how we do it. So basically, every month there is a project that gets assigned to the month. We usually vote on it. So February was the tote, March was a simple top, and we had three options for the simple top, which was the ruffle blouse, the easiest top to sew, and the halter top to sew. And then our April project is going to be the peg legs or the tights. The video for that is already in the description. And the second option on the poll was actually for a purse. So I was thinking about doing this crossbody bag, not really a purse per se, but something similar. And I thought of including that as one of the options for those who do not prefer to actually sew clothing. And yeah, so I don't know if it's 7 o'clock as yet, but as soon as it's 7, we will start. Before we actually carry on, I do want to mention this outfit that I'm wearing. It's actually a matching set, and seeing as everyone is at home, I thought of making clothing for me when I'm at home. So I have a headband and the top. I actually used the halter neck pattern, but I didn't make a neckband. I just did a double fold. I am using the peg leg patterns for the pants, and I've added sleeves. And I did something really bad. So all of you who actually hoard or collect fabric, well done. I haven't done that because I took the wrong advice and I didn't hoard fabric, and I decided that I would buy fabric as I had a project in mind. So I have officially almost run out of fabric. I just have a collection of the fabrics that I have been not wanting to sew. So I'm going to be using a remnant from the tote bag that I made in Feb, as well as the remnants of some fabric that I used when I was making a shirt for my dad. So what you need for this project is 2 front pieces for the exterior of your pouch. They are 10 by 7 inches. So converting that to centimeters, 10 inches would be 25 centimeters, and the 7 inches would be 18 centimeters. You need a 7-inch zip, or a zip that you trim down to 7 inches, which is 18 centimeters. You need 2 inner lining fabrics that are also 10 by 7 inches. And interfacing is optional, but I have put interfacing, fusible interfacing, onto the back of each of these fabrics. You also need your pocket pouch, which is, mine is 7 inches by 7 inches, which is 18 centimeters by 18 centimeters. I did a little bit of a pleat by taking some of the fabric that I had left over from here, cutting 2 hearts, putting them right sides together, sewing along, leaving a little opening, flipping it around, and then a zigzag stitch around the edges. You also need your strap. I am not sure if I'm going to use the strap because they say for a crossbody pouch your strap should be about 50 inches. This is much smaller, but this is all I had to work with. So because I'm not going to just attach the strap straight onto my pouch, I have made little D-rings. So when it's making these little D-ring holders, you're basically taking a piece of fabric, mine was 1 inch by 1 inch, and you fold it in half, and then you fold in the raw edges just to hide that, and then you fold it again in half, sew along here, slide in your D-ring, fold it again, and then the D-ring should be hanging out here, and then you sew close together, and that is how I made this for my D-ring. And for my zipper tabs, that is optional. I've been sewing without zipper tabs for a long time. This is actually the first time I've decided to put them on. So for the zipper tabs, it's basically the same thing, but you slot the zipper tab in and then you just sew along the edge. Okay, so I think we're ready to start. So what I'm going to do firstly is move all the pieces I'm not working with onto the side. Okay, you're going to take your lining fabric and you're going to place it down onto the table, just with the right side facing up. That is the prettier side, the side that you want to be seen when you're opening your bag. Then I'm going to take my zipper and I'm going to place it down with the top part of the zipper facing up. And then I'm going to take my top fabric with the right side facing down and I'm going to place it on top of that. And then you can take your pins, but I have some wonder cups which I recently purchased from Wish. So I'm just going to make sure that they're all lined nicely together and just clip them on. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. They're all lined up together. Here's the zip, big sandwich. So I'm just going to put it down and clip it quickly because if I hold it up, it's going to take a long time. I don't really know how Facebook Live works and if you're allowed to comment while you're there, because no names are coming up saying who's joined and who hasn't, but thank you for those who did. I know in South Africa it's like 7 a.m. in the morning, and in other countries the timing was also pretty bad, so I think in future I'd have to research the time that works for all of us. But here we are, this is my first live, so I am pretty excited. I am going to change the foot to a zipper foot, but if you're confident enough to just try and sew as close to the zip as possible, then go ahead. So here I have it, my lining, the zipper, and the top fabric, and now I'm just going to sew onto it. Okay, don't forget to also do your, I'm using a straight stitch, but don't forget to also, whenever you're starting off a stitch, to do a little reverse stitch. I hope nothing goes wrong because I haven't brought my seam ripper. I am sewing in my lounge as opposed to in my sewing room, so I'm really just hoping I brought everything that I was supposed to bring. Okay, so basically you can open it up to it looking like this. So my lining fabric is under, my top fabric is here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just press this down. You can use an iron or you can just use your fingers and then do a top stitch along the edge. Okay, there you can see I did a top stitch along here. Now I can close off my zip. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to basically do the same thing you did before. You're going to take your lining fabric, you're going to place it down with the right side facing the top. Then you're going to take your zipper, which now has an extra piece on it, and you're going to line it up to the top with the zipper facing the right way. Then you're going to take your top fabric and you're going to place it down, taking care that everything is lined up nicely. I'm going to use my wonder clips to just attach this. I'm just going to move the zipper out of the way here. Okay, now I can change my zipper foot because I'm going to do the top stitching using the other foot for a change. And we won't be needing our zipper foot for the rest of this project. Please could you also comment below or in the description or somewhere and tell me what time do you think would be best for our next live. I am going to save this. So even if you comment at a later stage, I will be checking on that. So please, could you just give me some idea on when would it be better? Okay, I'm on the top stitching for the last side. I used to actually leave out steps when I first started sewing, but all these steps actually give it a good look. It gives it a cleaner finish, but also it's practical because when you don't top stitch and you're opening and closing your zip, it tends to get caught in the zip. So yeah, don't leave out that step. Okay, it is much easier to do a top stitch with this one. Okay, here it is so far. Let me just trim out all these extra threads. Yeah, this is how it looks so far. I think the zip now needs to be opened even if it's open just halfway, or you can see how much I've opened it. And now you're going to take the right sides. Oh, there seems to be extra thread everywhere. Okay, the right sides, and you're going to bring them together, and you're going to put your interior fabric together, and you're basically going to clip all around here, leaving a small opening on the side of your lining. Also, what do you think, pins are better or wonder clips? What do you use? I feel like I've been using this for maybe less than a month, the clips. I find it a lot easier, especially with clips, because they tend to get blunt. But there are a few things that are irreplaceable about the pins. So if you do have wonder clips, you do need the pins as well. And I have forgotten something very important. Okay, on the front piece of this, so before you take this to the side, you're going to get this pocket that you have made. So this is basically the pocket that was 7 inches by 7 inches. You're going to do a double fold on the top just to make a nice clean top, and you're going to take it and add it here onto the bottom of your front piece. And then you're going to take your pins. So this is why I remembered it. You're going to take your pins, and just anywhere on here, you're just going to poke them in just so that they stay in place. So I think 2 are enough, just to make sure they don't move around. Okay, I just attached them with 2 pins here and here. And now you can bring these 2 pieces together and clip around. I'm so thankful we remembered now, because if we did at a later stage, I don't have my seam ripper here. So I am going to start sewing here, and I'm going to go all the way around, and then I'm going to stop here just so I have enough space to put my hand in. Please, now would be a good time to check that you did leave your zipper open, because if you didn't, then you might have to make a hole into your fabric somehow and open that zip. So yeah, make sure that you left it open. Okay, you could do about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, or you could just line it up with the edge of your sewing foot, which I usually do, and that helps me to sew straight or straighter. Reverse stitch. important step is if you're going to be attaching your straps directly to your bag, you need to basically slot them into the right side, so you'll have it almost, just pretend this is inside, so you can have it here, and then this will be in between the two fabrics, and this will be coming out, the other edge would be coming out through here. Okay, and this would all this excess would be tucked in between. But I am going to be using D-rings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the metal part of my D-ring and I'm going to slot it in here, just about maybe about an inch away from the edge, away from the zip. And I'm going to clip in my wonder clips. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to slot in the metal part with the excess of my fabric hanging out, and then I'm going to take my wonder clip and also just make sure it's secure in there so I don't forget to sew it in when I get past there. Okay, I'm just going to continue sewing around it. When you get to the zipper, it's important to make sure that the raw edges of the zipper are turned towards the lining. And this zipper is metal, so I'm going to have to go very slow to make sure that I don't actually hit my needle into the metal teeth of the zipper. I'm using my hand wheel because it is always the better bet. And I didn't bring any spare needles, so yeah, now I am approaching my D-rings. I'm going to make sure that I get that into my stitches. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, now I'm going to go over the zipper on the other side. So I'm also going to go through very slowly. Okay, now I'm just going to sew a little bit more so that I remember to leave my opening to put my hand in so I can flip it the right way around. Okay, and a reverse stitch. Okay, before I actually butt the bag, I'm going to just go around and make sure that all my stitches caught on both sides so that I don't have any holes on my bag. Have a look around the rings. Those are secured. Okay, next you're going to take your scissors and you're just going to neaten along the edges of the bag so that you don't have a lot of bulk when you turn it around. Okay, now's the part where you hope everything went well and your bag actually does turn out fine and that you haven't left out anything important. So I'm going to stick my hand in through this hole. Okay, zip is open. Okay, and I'm basically going to pull the bag out through here. Please remember that there are pins in this bag because you attached that pocket in. Let's hope that the pocket is also attached well and that it didn't shift when I was sewing. But worst case scenario, you would just have to put the bag back in and sew over it again, so it's not the end of the world and it won't take that long. I have a chopstick that I usually use to poke the corners out. They say you shouldn't use your scissors because you could just poke a hole straight through it. Tempted to use my scissors, maybe just a good push will be enough. Bringing my corners out on this edge. Okay, I'm just going to sew a little bit over the D-rings just to make sure that it's extra secure because that is the place that would have the most pressure on it. It is optional, I just like to do it. Since I got the new sewing machine, I really enjoyed using it. I decided to sell this one. I'm enjoying using this one at home though, but it is a bit pointless having two machines. Yeah, so this one might go anytime. Next, you're going to close up that opening that you left when you were flipping the bag the right way. So just give it a good fold. I would usually iron it, but that's not an option right now. So I'm just going to give it a fold and press it down with my fingers. And then I can sew along as close to the edge as possible. don't forget to do a reverse back stitch. It's called a back stitch or a reverse stitch. I don't know. Okay, so here is the finished pouch. All that's left to do is add in your straps. So if I am going to use the strap, what I would do is I would take it and feed it through the D-ring, and then I would fold through here to hide the raw edge, and then just give it a stitch to make this a square. Okay, I think I will use a strap just to illustrate it to you. I'm so disappointed that I didn't get to go onto YouTube, because YouTube would actually show me who joined so I could say hello to you. Right here, we can always interact in the comments of this video. If you have any questions, and if you want to use this as your April sew along, then please share pictures if you do make it. And I'm so glad that my bobbin lasted the entire way through, so well done, bobbin. I feel like I said that too soon, but let's just hope for the best. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that this does not twist. Here we go. I feel like this is the part where the bobbin runs out, just because I said what I said. Okay, good last. Yay. I feel like I rushed the strap part and I didn't do a good job sewing it, but I'll probably neaten it up just now. Okay, so here is the finished pouch. There is a place here for you to slot your cell phone, and you can open it up here and you can add your money and your keys, and it's not bulky, and it's, yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. It is the first time that I have made something like this, so I'm so glad that it did actually work. I like the rounded look on the top, but if you want, you can pull out your corners a bit more to give it a nice angled finish. But yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out, and I hope that you also make one and add it in the comments or tag me in it. Thank you so much if you have made it this far, and yeah, hopefully we'll have more lives at a better time. Thank you so much for watching.